Hey, welcome to BJB Today, episode 40 on October 4th. Tim Kruger along with AJ Andreessen. AJ, how you doing?
I'm great, Tim. How are you?
Hanging in there. I want to first of all, thank Infusion Brewing Company, our sponsor. They've been tremendous. And if you want to go taste some great beer, you got to go to Infusion. Go to their tasting room. It's open, I think, Tuesday through Sunday. Go check them out at infusionbrewing.com. I'll have all the times. And taste all the great beers that they brew down there at Infusion. I want to thank everybody for watching on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe and like button. It helps us out a ton. And just a reminder, you can catch this not only on YouTube, but on all major podcast streaming platforms. Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, Apple, and now recently iHeartRadio. So check it all out. Okay, well, today AJ's got something set up, so why don't you explain it, AJ?
Yeah, we've done this a couple times now, but basically I just prepared some questions and we're just going to talk about it and debate the answers because I'm sure we'll have different answers. So I'll just jump right in. Number one, who do you think will have a better overall season this year, individually, not looking at team success? So we're looking at stats, 3-point percentage, points, rebounds, assists, whatever. UConn's Alex Caravan or Creighton's Josh Dix?
Well, I mean, I guess there's like three different answers here. Like, I think Caravan's the better player. I think he's obviously got way more NBA potential. If you want to look at that as being a better player, which I don't, but I'm just saying some people do. Statistically, I mean, Caravan, I don't think doles out many assists. He gets a fair amount of rebounds. I mean, I think, God, he struggled last year though. I'd give a slight edge to Caravan.
I like it. I
Slight
think the
edge.
opposite. I think, like you said, Caravan really struggled last year. He was hard to watch at times. He's not like a team leader, and I feel like they're going to rely on him again. I think Josh Dix is going to come in and be the guy for Creighton, and I'm excited to watch that. But I noticed those two were on a lot of the comparable lists for like top seniors returning, and so I just wanted to make that comparison and see what you thought. So we will jump into number two. This is specifically for Creighton. Which Creighton player do you think will have the most NBA potential after this season and why? And I don't necessarily mean like 10 years down the road in the NBA. I mean, like, who do you think will be higher up on the draft boards after this season? Because I know those two things can be different. So,
Yeah, that's a very interesting question.
and maybe there's not a risk of anybody leaving for the NBA this year with NIL and a young team, but
Yeah, I don't. I mean, right now, the second, as we're recording this, I don't think there is. But I would say, I would say probably Fedor, just because he has things that can translate to the NBA, where I think like Jackson doesn't have enough prowess inside, and his defense too. Um, Now, could one of those Euros be that player? Sure. Could Josh Dix with his size, and if he has a fair amount of time at point guard. Could that be somebody? Sure. But I think right now and down the road, Hunter or Hudson, I mean, could. So I guess, yeah, I would lean toward Fedor.
I had the same answer for the same reasons. I think Fedor is the most NBA ready, body wise and talent wise, and he's already played professionally for many years. I think if anybody, again, with this young team, is going to go to the draft boards, it's going to be him. All right, number 3. This is kind of a tough question because we don't necessarily know who the starters will be yet. But who do you think is going to be the sixth man, the most important non-starter on this year's team?
Well, yeah, you're
Comes off the
right.
bench,
It
brings
really
energy.
depends on who starts, right? Like
Mhm.
if Nick Graves starts at point guard, then just by osmosis, somebody has to get shuffled out of there, and it could be Fedor or Jason Green. They would be the most important. But let's just assume let's just yeah go off those two. I'd probably say I'd probably say one of the two centers, like if it's going to be Karam or Alexa. I think those two are going to be the most important because it's a position you got to have somebody that can come in and spell some minutes there. Um, I would like to say Hudson, but I think I'll go with those centers because that's going to be important. If we don't get production out of those two guys, it's going to make it difficult.
That's a perfect segue to the next part of this question is who will start at center this year with Owen Freeman's injury? He hasn't really been able to practice with the team at all. Alexa had the broken nose. Kareem just got here. Like what do you think we're going to do to start the season with that center position?
Well, if Owen has it his way, he'll start, but just depends on how how ready they think he is, and I think I'm going to go out on a limb say he will be ready. If there's not any other setbacks, I think he will be ready and he will start. Of those other two, I think right now Karim is the guy who seems to be getting the run at that position. Um, but that could change as Alexa gets more comfortable because I think he's more natural center player.
He definitely has the height, right? I mean, Kareem and Owen are both 6'10", and Alexa's 7'1".
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Alexa can get up the curve quickly with gaining weight and getting more physical down low. But he definitely looks like he has the touch around the rim. I think he could be impactful pretty quick if he can get used to the Big East style of play.
Right. Right.
All right, so which Big East team do you think is going to fall the most on the Big East standings compared to last year's? So just to run it down really quick, last year's rankings was St. John's, Creighton, UConn, Xavier, Marquette, Nova, Georgetown, Providence, Butler, DePaul, Seton Hall. So which of those teams do you think is going to fall the most compared to last year's?
I frankly think those standings could end up exactly the same. You know, ugh. Fall the most. So that would be, the most positions fall. I'd
Can I pick Seton Hall falling below 11? Because if I could, I would.
yeah. So here I would say at the top, Creighton probably, you know, because I mean it's you could be third or fourth and you'd fall two spots. Um, like I said, I think they're pretty close to the way I'd put them right now. So that means a one or two spot fall is going to be probably the most. Probably let's see Nova.
Interesting.
Because I
I think
think
Villanova's good.
Marquette's probably going to end up like 6, so that's only a 1 spot fall. Nova could drop to 8th or ninth probably, because teams below them like Georgetown, maybe Butler could pass them. So I would go Nova.
All right, hear me out on mine. I'm thinking Xavier.
Okay.
If you
Oh,
read
it's not
through the
bad.
people that they've lost, I mean, first of all, they finished fourth last year, and they lost McKnight, Conwell, Fremantle, Swain, Foster, Maddox, Green, Hugley. I mean, they lost their whole core last year, and they have a brand new coach. I just think them replacing their whole roster with a brand new coach, I think they're going to struggle. Even if they get, to your point, 6th or 7th or 8th, I mean, that's still a 3 to 4 position drop. So I think Xavier was my pretty clear answer here, but I guess you never know until the season starts. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, like St. John's is probably going to be, if you go through these one by one, St. John's is probably going to be 1 or 2 in the preseason polls, I would think. Creighton's probably going to be
3.
2, 3, 4, somewhere in there.
I think they'll be locked in at 3.
Who do you think's 2 then?
UConn.
Okay. That's fair. So then you go, who is going to be number 4? And that's a tough one.
It is tough. That third tier in
Probably,
the Big East has been very interesting the last couple of years.
I mean, people are talking about Butler. Personally, I don't know about that, but
I have Butler towards the bottom of my list this year.
yeah. Yeah, so Georgetown. Yeah, probably, maybe.
I say
I don't know.
Georgetown too.
Maybe.
Then probably Marquette.
Yeah. I mean, Xavier Marquette is probably a toss up as to who will take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Seton Hall, DePaul are going to be down at the bottom. Providence doesn't look like they're anything. It doesn't look like their improvement will skyrocket. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah,
I think Seton Hall, DePaul, Butler, Providence, Nova, Xavier. I think those 5 are going to be the last 5, and I don't know how it's going to mix between them.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do a more deep dive when we get closer to the season. We do our predictions in the conference, but on some of these teams. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think if you look at the standings, it's probably going to be pretty close to what it was last year. Really.
I mean, really,
Um,
these standings haven't changed much in the last couple of years.
yeah, that's pretty incredible when you consider the turnover and new players and everything that goes on. That is crazy.
Yeah. All right. So I have a bonus question for you.
All right.
So I'm going to start with. So we're talking about Big East accolades at the end of the season. So there's Defensive Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player. And the question is, do you think any Creighton players on this team has a chance to win one of those awards? And to run you through some things, I mean, 6 of the last 10 Defensive Player of the Years have come from Creighton. 4 in a row from Kalkbrenner and 2 from Kyrie Thomas. We have 2 Freshmen of the Year in the last 10 years, Nemhard and Patton. We've never gotten a Most Improved Player, and we've had 1 Sixth Man of the Year, and Denzel Mahoney. So the question is, does any Creighton players have a chance to win any of these awards, and who do you think is most likely to? And give us your thoughts.
I think Hudson's tremendous, but I think other guys are going to be freshmen are going to be in starting roles in some of these other teams, so that might hinder him. Um, Defensive player, I don't see that happening for Creighton this year. But in our scenario we talked about earlier, somebody's going to have to come off the bench. you know, if
Mm-hmm.
it's Justin uh, or Jason Green or Fedor, if that scenario plays out, then yes, one of those two I would say would be favored to win 6 man. If not, sure, you could have a Nick Graves or a Hudson Greer come off and be six man. But yeah, so I think that would probably be Creighton's best shot here at winning one of those awards. Unless somebody wins Player of the Year. I mean, you never know. You never know. Somebody could have a terrific year. But
Yeah.
I would say, and it really helps if you win the league. So if you win the league, then your best player has a great shot at winning Player of the Year.
Right.
But I think six man probably is the way Creighton would go. What do you think?
Yeah, I had the same notes mostly because the six man of the year with our depth, I just feel like whoever comes off the bench is going to be good enough to be a starter at a different team. So the issue becomes how many minutes will they get? How many minutes are the starters going to get? Historically, Greg's teams, the starters have played 30 to 35 minutes a game. So how many minutes will that six man get? I don't know.
Yeah, right, right.
And I did have notes about Hudson Greer winning freshman of the year. I actually don't think there's a ton of really good freshmen starting for other Big East schools. So I think he has a shot at that one. Again, same answer as the last one. It just depends how many minutes he can get. With our depth, I don't know
Right.
how much time he's going to get on the floor. Most improved player, I mean, potentially Jason Green. His stats weren't that great last year, but towards the end of the season, he played really, really well. So if he can come in and emulate that and play really well and maybe start, maybe fill some
Yeah.
like center minutes at times, get his he's a good post player on offense. Honestly, he can pretty much post anybody up if he needs to because he usually has a smaller guy guarding him. So I think he could take a big leap this year and have a chance at that one. Yeah, and defensive player of the year, I literally wrote without Kalk. I'm not sure if we're going to have. I'm not sure how our defense is going to look. I think the whole system is going to change. So we'll have to see how that looks before I
Right.
take a guess there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Those
all
are
the
great
questions.
questions. And by the way, our listeners and viewers out there, if you have questions like that, put them in the chat in YouTube. Send us an email at bluejbanner@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to include them on future episodes. Okay, awesome.
I had
Nice
something else I
rundown.
wanted to mention really quick.
Yeah,
I read Matt Norlander's CBS article, and I don't know if you
I
saw
have
this,
not.
but the title is they asked 100 coaches who is the best X's and O's coach in college basketball right now. Did you see this article?
No.
All right, so best X's and O's coach. The top 3 picks of all the coaches in college basketball have 55% of the votes. Do you think you could guess who those 3 coaches are?
Greg McDermott's in there. I know that.
He's at number
He's
3
highly
with
regarded in that
votes.
aspect.
There's another Big East coach.
Really? Oh, Patino.
Actually, no. Patino had a small percent. I think he had like 2 or 3% of the votes. But there's a Big East coach who had 18% of the votes. And you already got the other 2 actual options out of the way.
Cooley?
Hurley.
See, I would vehemently disagree with that.
Yeah, Dan Hurley got 18%.
I don't think
Greg
he.
McDermott
I
got
don't think
15.
X knows. He just has the best players. I don't think he had. I don't think he's more of a motivator and that type of coach. I'm not saying he's bad at X and O's. I'm just saying I wouldn't put him. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's East Coast love for Hurley right there. That's what that
And
is.
do you want to take a stab at number 1? Do you have any idea? I can just tell you if you don't.
Let me think a second.
Yep.
Is it a fairly younger coach or a very established coach?
Established.
Okay. Izzo? Nope.
Same conference.
Well, all right. Painter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Matt Painter, Dan Hurley, Greg McDermott got 53% of the total votes. And the other 47% is distributed between about 35 other coaches.
Hmm.
So those three stood out a lot, and they even
The
put
other guy,
quotes.
the other guy I was thinking of was Schreier from Duke.
I
Seems to
think
be
he was
pretty
at like 5%. Like he was
pretty
more
good
than most
X's.
of them, um, but yeah, these
Yeah,
quotes about Greg are awesome too. Like this one is he's extremely hard to prepare for. He's the best in-game play caller in the country, and he hides his play calls better than anybody, so you never know what's coming.
I agree.
So, I don't know.
I
I think
agree
we
with
got
that.
some a fun season ahead. I'm excited and excited to see what Greg puts together with this new team.
Yeah, sounds like a guy that should be around for a long time. Oh wait,
Could be a couple years still,
hey, but that's experience, right? You know, experience gets you that. You don't do that on day one. You
right?
know. Awesome, great rundown. We will have in our series on Creighton ex assistants who have become head coaches. We will have Ryan Miller on later this week, so that'll be great. AJ and I will be back with you tomorrow. And thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like button, helps us out a ton. And we will see you tomorrow.
Have a great day, Tim.